just got Daniel Donato on the podcast. If you don't know him, he is a country artist from Nashville, Tennessee. He's played with the Don Kelly Band 460 plus times at Robert's Western Bar in Nashville, Tennessee. And he's touring with his band, the Cosmic Country group. And they're touring on their recent record, the Cosmic Country and Western Songs record. You can find it everywhere. And in this conversation, we talk about philosophy, psychology, the difference between the masculine and the feminine, and sleep, and what it's like being on the road and touring with your buds and bandmates, and just so many different things. And it was an honor to have him on the podcast. And I hope I can show that to you in this video. And all the love to you. Thank you for sticking around. All the best to you. Goodbye.
It's like, no, it's like a reflection of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're ready to rock. You want to hang out here, Wim?
Yeah.
You want to turn that music off?
He said
Yeah,
he was
for
just
sure.
pausing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Hell yeah.
Daniel Donato.
What's up,
in this
Drew?
MFer, dude.
Yeah.
My God.
What's going on?
I put you on my dream list of people I wanted, so
Right on. I'm
pressure,
glad.
but
I'm glad.
I'm very nervous. So.
Oh, there's no need. There's no need. Dreams are like, you could almost look at dreams as like a foreknowledge of what could potentially be happening in reality. So like the difference between dreams and reality, or like the border between those, no matter how vast it may seem, oftentimes is man-made. Unless you're talking about like an absurd dream, like I want to go to Dubai and like ride in a camel race and like, get like a $1 million Lamborghini and do weird things.
We're trying to be based in reality here.
Yeah,
at
well,
least
whatever
a
that
little bit.
means,
I actually
right?
forgot my notebook. Where's
Oh,
your-
cool. All good.
I've got some sick notes.
Here you go.
Thanks, man. Wim Tapley sitting over there. This-
Manning the camera, not even manning
The Iceman.
The Iceman.
Yeah, I always got the, it was that. Yeah, it's like a full, it's not so much fast, right, as it's full and constant.
Do you do ice baths?
I don't do the ice. I'm like so ticklish, it's absurd. Like I'm so sensitive. I was born premature, like pretty premature, and I have like a very like sensitive skin condition. Like even now, like I'm kind of breaking out because we didn't get a lot of sleep last night because our hotels just got fucked.
How do they get fucked?
So our tour manager, Trippy Toe, he used my manager's suggestion to use hotels.com to like book a hotel. And the way the business model for hotels.com works is like they'll say you have the room, but they like never contact the hotel to do so. Like you have to do so. So they just double booked us, and we got to the hotel at like 3 a.m. Yeah, after like a great oversold out show in Raleigh, like 291 people, and we were just
2 in a row? 3
just
in a row?
one in a row.
Dude,
And we were
it's lit, dude.
the 2 to 3 nights and 4 nights will be there in the future. But in this space and time, it was 1, and we were fried. And we get to this hotel and they double booked us, and like all these other people arrived at 3 a.m. too, oddly enough, and they got double booked and fucked too. And so we found like this Nights Inn motel that was like only smoking rooms were available, and we got there at like 4. We had to leave at 11 today.
Dude.
And it was just a ridiculous like lack of sleep in this disgusting room. Like, but I really look at those nights as really nice, like fortunate opportunities, like because like
How do you mean?
because there's like a ground floor of tragedy, and this is a very stoic inspired idea.
Memento Mori, right?
I don't know Memento Mori or Warrior.
Memento Mori, it's like
Oh,
you're
Memento
gonna
Mori.
die.
Yeah. So it's like if it doesn't matter in 5 years,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter for more than 5 minutes. So it's like you have all the ability to let it matter, but it doesn't really matter. So I was a little pissed at first, but it was really no one's fault until I got over it. And then you realize that like, everything that doesn't stop you only like appreciates your callous for what you can do, and withstand. So I'm here
That's an
for it.
interesting way to like look at like not getting good sleep.
Yeah, I know.
that-
Well, it's my job,
It's not gonna matter, right?
You know,
Right,
I'm
it
out
is.
here, and yeah. So when I go home, I'll sleep, and I'll like, and that's the thing. It's like the archetype of like the hysterical, anxious, voice in me that will be like, "Oh, you're being lazy," you know, sleeping 12 hours. It's like, fuck off. We had a great time. We played a great show, and you were positive the whole time. It's like, go home and rest.
Is it patience, positivity, persistence?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
one
that.
of those three at any given moment in life, especially sometimes all three, are just really effective ways to like interface with whatever you're focused on.
Sure.
Whether it's something good or whether it's something bad, or in the middle, which most things are.
Yeah. Yeah. So this 5 minutes thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's a stoic. That's a stoic deal.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know who.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like Ryan Holiday a lot.
Yeah, yeah. That's the guy from Stoics Daily, right?
Mm-hmm.
That he's kind of the flagship.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think it might have been Ryan Holiday.
Yeah, current day guy. I get his like emails and stuff.
Cool.
It's hard to
Yeah.
read sometimes, so you know.
And what you read is just amazing. It's like what you consume, you know, it really influences your psyche in,
Right.
in all three layers of it,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Anything you take in, it's stimulus, it's information. It's going to come out in some other form inside you,
Yeah.
right? In some
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, and what
Yeah.
comes out inside.
Like your dreams, that's somewhat of your subconscious sort of creating this reality inside your head that tricks you into you believing that it's real in this reality. So it's hard to be lucid,
Yeah.
which is why being lucid in a dream is a super skill kind of thing. So, but like that's reality in that inside that dream that you have, like literally in dream state, just like sleeping.
Yeah.
So it's weird because you can't be like, it's hard to be mindful inside of your dream, it's weird, right?
It's really strange.
Because if you practice mindfulness constantly, right, then maybe you can practice that inside your dreams too.
It's rational.
It seems right?
Yeah. I've never tried the lucid dreaming, whatever that movie with Leonardo,
Oh, Inception.
Inception.
Yeah.
I've never tried it. That's something I'll try one day.
Tim
Yeah.
Ferriss has a good like guide on it.
Does he?
Yeah,
I like Tim Ferriss.
me too.
Yeah, his interview with Jerry Seinfeld is really good.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, the podcast rather.
Yeah.
Podcasts aren't really interviews. They're kind of two different things. You know.
What are they
can't-
to you?
A podcast?
Yeah.
I don't know what they are. I've actually never quite defined it. I know what it feels like, and I'm more focused on being able to find consistency with feeling than be able to define what it is in words. Because that's
Sure.
what music really is. It's hard to describe music. Like a lot of the times people like be like, "What is cosmic country?" And then you could use like a pastiche example of like, "Well, it's like the Grateful Dead meets Willie Nelson or Waylon Jennings," or it's like, but it's like those words are very blunt. Like they're almost like Razor Motorola quality photos of what it really is, you know? And it's like, so words are actually like quite inactive vehicles for like real sensation. But the way a podcast feels to me is something I've always done my whole life. It's like, I always used to get in trouble for talking all the time and answering questions too quickly.
But you have a great vocabulary, so it's really nice to hear you speak eloquently.
Thank you, man.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be doing it with you.
Me too.
But the thing about dreaming, Carl Jung on dreams is like the thing. That's like, I don't know anything about psychology or anything enough to speak about it. But from what I have read, from what Carl Jung has talked about with dreams, is that it's really just bizarre because everyone dreams. You don't know that you're actually not dreaming all day because you have a imagination that kind of forecasts the reality that's not presently happening in your external world, but it's something that you're also present in and you're observing. And that's what a dream is. You're not physically there, but God, are you there?
You're there.
You know, and so like when you close your eyes in a van ride and you go to someplace else that's not the van, who's to say that's not a dream? Who's to say you're not always dreaming? Who's to say that what dreams have to tell you is not a foreknowledge of what your external world is going to show you eventually? You know what
Eventually, right?
Yeah, the eventuality of space and time is something that the psyche doesn't necessarily abide by. Only parts of it. only the consciousness and the subconscious, but the unconscious.
All right, so you've obviously read a lot about this, so
Yeah.
you can speak on it,
Maybe.
on psychology and like philosophy and stuff. I've heard you talk about it too, so it's
I'm
nice to
really
hear you
inspired
speak.
by it. I'm really, really inspired by it because it helps explain the phenomenology of all these sensations and these
Yeah.
feelings.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's surreal having you in here, bro.
Oh yeah,
It's
and look how great this room is too to be doing it in.
I
It's
know,
like,
right?
yeah, it's
Yeah,
great.
this is George Massey's kitchen. Dealing up some deals over here. with
Yeah,
his,
dude. We literally have a Casio
bread and butter.
calculator with.
I literally, dude.
Yeah.
It's really actually it feels really good to see 154.75 on there. Just the digital analog of that seems like he used his fingers to
Yeah.
press buttons,
Yeah.
and now that appears.
Yeah. We delegate automation to all kinds of things. Yeah. So it's good to have an analog complement.
So I have a lot of questions. Well, not that many questions. I dialed them in, but this was the before,
Hell yeah.
like all that,
Great.
and then I'm a songwriter as well, so I know how to edit a decent amount. So
Yeah.
dialed it into
Editing's the thing.
this kind of deal.
Yeah, man.
Um,
Let's do it. Love it.
dude, so the podcast with John Radford was awesome.
Thank you.
With talking about Don Kelly,
Yeah.
beautiful,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Right on. Thank you for listening.
And then all the videos you guys have with Don Kelly is fantastic too.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, man. Don's band was special.
I mean, so you have 460 shows at Roberts.
Yeah. 464
464
at 4 hours apiece.
Yeah, 4 hours apiece.
Yeah. People like ask I go to college, and I'm like, again with words, it's
Yeah.
like no. But if you boil down the terminology of college, yeah, totally went to college. Had a professor, had peers, had tests, had class, had work, had grades, had a vision.
What
college.
were the grades? Like, what's the rubric for that? Like,
It was mainly Don, because he had such an acute, compressed, very salient vision of what you had to do. So it was like, you got to do this thing at this level. It's like very specific, which is the exact opposite of like leaving Broadway and coming up with your own show and story and songs. So that was a weird 180. But down there, it was like, learn these songs, play them in this way, and we'll play these days and these hours. And those were graded. I would drive Don back to his car a lot of the times because he never wanted to pay for parking. So he would Don lived solely on cash, which is just amazing. Because when you would play at Roberts, we would get all this cash, and he paid for his house in cash. He paid for his Honda Civics in
Wait.
cash, everything.
did he play for tips too?
Yeah, everyone played for tips. But Don would make more.
Okay.
I made the least, which is
Gotcha.
fair. Again, as an internship in some way too.
Yeah. You were the chosen lead guitarist.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there was an asymmetrical value of exposure that was given to me in lieu of certain earnings, and I was totally fine with. But I'm highly disagreeable, just as much as I am
Really?
extroverted. Yeah, 97%.
Is that Jordan Peterson
Yeah.
test?
Yeah. And so I
Really?
hated that at the time because I didn't realize the value of that. I didn't understand that. And I didn't want to take the time to. And that's the thing I really am thinking about several times a day now is watching out for casual contempt for systems and things that you don't understand.
Sure.
The
Through tone, it's expressed through tone sometimes. Like with me, it's sometimes I'll ask a friend at a restaurant, and I'll be talking to the waiter, and I'm like, did I say that? Kind of abrupt and sort of hey, we're talking here kind of thing. He was like, yeah.
now that's different. That's different than what I mean.
Okay.
So I think I trust me, dude. Do I get in trouble with that? Holy shit. Oh my God. Every girlfriend I've had gets so embarrassed.
Are you
with me.
dating someone right now?
Not right now. I'm touring so much. I can't date
Yeah, you
anybody.
can't. You can't.
It doesn't work. It's really hard. It's really hard. It's like,
You're too good at guitar to date a girl right now.
I do want to get married and have like a little cosmic country ranch.
Yeah.
One day.
You want kids?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to name my son I want to name him Adonis Donato. They would just be like the literally the coolest guy. You're gonna have like, because where I went to school in Spring Hill, it was just like normal, like these fairly like sanctified, like culturally relevant names, and then there's like Daniel Donato. Everyone's like, what the fuck is going on here? And so it's like, it's me too. I'm like that every day. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But Adonis Donato? Come on.
What a name, dude.
What a name.
My God.
And I want to give him a high bar to live up to, you know?
And you've given him one.
But the casual contempt for things you don't understand, that's the thing that I don't like to see it in other people, but I especially hate to see it in myself. If you don't understand something, that's literally the last reason for you to not like it. If anything, it's the reason for you to
You can't
like
hate things you don't understand.
Yeah, you should
Is that
look
a Bob
into
Dylan
it.
quote? Maybe.
Really?
Da-da-da-da-da, you can't understand.
What song?
Times they are changing.
There you go.
There it is.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious also. All right, so I saw the video with the, you said you played 460 plus shows, 464 shows
Yeah.
at Roberts. And then the Ryman is right behind Roberts.
I know.
So you guys would hang out back there
Yeah.
and see the Ryman.
I used to be too young to like wait inside because it was past hours for anyone under 21 to hang inside, and I would just wait for my money. out
Really?
back.
You'd wait back there?
Yeah,
For
because I
how
had to
long?
wait
How long
outside.
were you back
Every night was different. There was, every night was
When
different.
did you start playing at Roberts?
When I was like 17.
17?
Yeah.
Bro. And you were busking on the street too before
14.
that. 14 to 17.
Which is really tremendous, like tremendously fast period of time, which I haven't been able to like replicate with like getting a skill realized since then. I think it. So I used to just wait behind Roberts and just stare at the Ryman, and that's where I got to meet some of my biggest heroes because they'd be out back like smoking a Camel Red or like a Marlboro Red, and I'd be just this young kid. They're like, "Was that you playing in there earlier?" It's like, "Yeah." It's like, "Nice to meet you, Jason Isbell," or people like that. It's like a big fan.
God, dude.
And shout out to Jason. He's very nice. But that building, man, there's this phenomenology to it, and there's just so much legendary times that were had there. That's where Hank Williams, when he debuted Lovesick Blues, they asked him to play it 3 more times that night. And it was just like, what in the world's happening? That's the
Still good over there?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. This makes me more anxious.
Oh yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the Ryman. That's my goal right now is for us to sell it out.
Okay. I mean, you guys can do that for sure.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Dude, with this squad too you have right now,
Yeah.
like Nathan and Noah.
Yeah.
And I forget.
Will.
Oh, Will.
Will
That's
on
right.
bass, yeah. Then Space Dog, who does our content.
Yeah.
Landon's our production manager. And then Trippy Toe is our tour manager.
Okay.
Yeah. And my agent, CJ Strock, and my manager, Owen Canavan, and my business management, like everyone. Like
You have a whole squad around you.
You got it.
You have to.
You got it.
So I'm trying to think about, like, I was on a call with like a video editor, like videographer person today, and I was talking to him about like coming here, but then I was like, nah, don't. It's okay. But I've been trying to think about like expanding team because like I'm a software developer, so but also play a lot of music too. So that's what your dad does.
Integrations technology, right?
Integrations.
Software, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm making enough money over there to like supplement more musical content kind of deal. So like, and I'm doing everything alone right now. So I'm trying to figure out who do I bring in?
Yeah.
Like who's my squad? Like who do I want? I get to pick and choose kind of deal.
Totally.
But,
That's how
dude,
it goes.
So you have a content man. I'm trying to figure out how to game social media. I feel like there's a game to it. Like there's an algorithm, and since there's an algorithm, there's a game to it too. I feel like to some degree.
Yeah.
And I think unfortunately, like now with Instagram, it seems like going viral might be the most effective way to, or I mean, use TikTok maybe to go viral there and then bring them back to Instagram kind of thing. But I see you constantly posting content on your story too.
Yeah.
Is that all you?
Yeah, I fuck around with the story.
Okay.
I like that. I try not to stay on social too much. I try to be very intentional with the time I spend on there. And having said that, there's a lot of times where it's not, you know. Yeah. Social, you got to have social media.
You have to.
Yeah, you can't not.
Nature of the game.
Yeah. Or you got to have a big enough cloud around your persona and brand to not have to have it. Which, you know, people got grandfathered in. Like, I doubt, like, Jennifer Aniston or, like, Sheryl Crow has to worry about social media. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because, like, they were already really famous.
They were huge.
Yeah.
Before it started.
Yeah, they already did their thing.
Like
you
Joe
know?
Rogan, kind of Joe too.
Just like Joe Rogan. Yeah, Joe Rogan's been famous since I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
Doing stand-up and doing Fear Factor. It's
Yeah.
like eating cow testicles.
Yeah.
Like,
And goat cum, right?
yeah, goat cum and all kinds of shit. I think that's Joe. Sounds like Joe. Might not be.
Maybe. Yeah. What's
Yeah.
up, dude?
Yeah, I was right. I can hear it. I can hear it.
Little big old jingle.
Jingle, jingle.
Trippy Joe. Y'all doing good up here?
Yeah, we're good.
I don't want to interrupt. I'm sure it's going to be edited, so it's fine.
I say we keep it in. I say we keep it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm rock and roll on this.
Yeah, we're good.
Cool. Could be
want
in
some of this?
Athens. Yeah, mine's charged again. Beginning of January, Daniel wasn't addicted to vaping, but
I bought you one. I got you one at the
he
store.
tried to get me hooked. Every time I see him, you know, all through the fall, he'd be like, "Oh, hit this." I'm like, nope, nope.
I
nope,
love
nope.
nicotine now.
It's great.
It's really
It's
good.
beautiful.
He's known what I've known since I was 14.
What?
Hey, do you mind, Daniel?
Oh, of course. Come on.
This one's better.
Smoking
Check this.
Daniel's vape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the high.
Does it work?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's
give me.
free charging.
Let me get on it.
What is this one?
Escobar. It's the best one.
Really?
It's the best one. I just bought a hide though.
you-
Escobars
I'm
were overpriced.
skeptical.
They're like 25. In
I
Nashville,
had
they're
that for over a
17.
month.
No, the Escobars were
No,
like
no,
25.
Oh really?
Yeah, I was like, I'm not paying
I
25 for
paid
it.
25 for the hide, and that's been over.
Yeah,
a
but you get
week.
the rechargeable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's over a week.
I don't like the rechargeable ones. I just like to get a fresh one. And
Why? You get a fresh battery every time you want to go to bed every night. Plug it in. I mean, I don't do that, but I also don't plug my phone in every night.
Dude, those glasses are swag, man.
They are swag.
Y'all
They're
decked
fun.
out with sick gear. Y'all
Yeah.
awesome stuff. Like your
That's-
merch is great too.
thank you, man.
They're nice. Some of the lighting's a little too harsh. It's a little too cold. And,
Cosmic Country is more than a sound.
It is.
Oh, it's a lifestyle. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dude,
we
it's
didn't choose Cosmic Country. Cosmic Country chose us.
Like literally, like
Well,
that's.
actually, literally. Me and Dan were both before integrated.
Joe,
with
say
them,
hi.
so-
Say hi, Joe.
What's up?
Yeah, you're
Oh, yeah, how's it going? Well, before Daniel and I were into Grateful Dead, we were both just into like classic country, and then we found the Dead, and he said to me, he was like, "I knew all these songs already," and I was like, "Yeah, man, that's how I felt too," and it just felt like home.
Big River, El Paso.
Oh yeah, no one does like Jerry.
Yeah,
You know one does
no.
like Jerry.
Wow.
But we Cosmic Country does not endorse vaping,
It does endorse
but we definitely allow it.
intentional addictions. As long as they're safer than others.
Right on.
Why's that door busted?
There we go.
Some
No, you're
George is in there taking shit or something.
Yeah, but you were just talking about we were on the Ryman and then you're on some shows at Roberts.
Yeah, for sure. So you, all right. So I want to ask you about like practice and
Yeah.
how you.
Oh, we were
Like-
on social media. Do you want to wrap that up too?
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, we can wrap it up.
Yeah, because there's a lot to be had there, you know. Or we can talk about practice, whatever.
We were talking about gaming social media.
Yeah.
That's right.
My recent philosophy on it was something I found from Dave Grohl on hot. What's the chicken wings thing where they eat all the
Oh, hot wings. Hot ones.
Hot ones.
Yeah.
He said it best, and it was just like, it was like a very compressed sentence that like took all these ideas I had and like glued them together, which is like you want to like quote unquote like promote yourself. There's nothing better than burning it the fuck down in person. There's just nothing better. It's like that really is it.
Burning
It
the
down,
fuck
doing
down
it like
person.
doing it really well when people come to see you. If that's the
Yeah.
thing that you do.
Which you do.
Yeah, you know, it's like there's a lot of
1000%.
comedians that are great on podcasts, and I go and see them at Zany's, and they're not as good. And it's like, oh, okay. And they're really funny on social. They have all these funny videos of them going out in public, and whispering in people's ears, and it's funny, and they like fuck with them, and they do out, ostentatious, extroverted acts of jokesters.
Like Nelk Boys or something?
Yeah, or and some of these people are friends of mine, but then admittedly, they're like, admittedly, they're like, my stand-up set isn't there, and it's like, okay, so I have several people that I really respect who play in Nashville that, live and work there, and I go and see them play live, and it's like, but their social numbers are great, and so it's like, what are you really working for in the most macro vision, so then bringing it to inform my own vision and my own trip. I think everything boils down to the live experience. That's where the legacy is born and lives, and so there's nothing better than you really just burning it down in person. I really think that's the thing.
I think so too. Like, and even burning it, like,
that's just a euphemism, Yeah.
I feel like to some degree, creating content, like you can burn it down creating content.
Yeah.
Burn it down creating content, and like doing it the biggest, creating content, social media wise, right? Just to whatever degree you want to do it, and whatever balls you want to put out there to do it.
Yeah, and just like focus on where you're. It's got to be you. Well, the thing too, think about this. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Who you are speaks so loudly I can barely hear what you're saying." It's like you are already you. So just get out of your own way and let you shine through. And that's easier said than done. That's a lifetime practice. Right? Because a lot of the times I'm trying to be something and I don't even know it. You know what I mean? Not trying to be anybody else, but I'm trying to be something. And you just don't try. It's what Bukowski said. It's on his headstone. Just don't try.
Don't try.
Don't try. And it's like, I was at first, I had casual contempt. I'm like, oh, it's fucking simple, too stupid, fuck it. Now I'm 27. I was 17 at the time when I read that. Now I'm like, oh, right. Work really hard. Show up every day for the muse because she'll reward you, but don't try. Let her do it. And you're already a really gifted, individualized being. You have a soul. Work with that. You already have it. You didn't have to work that hard to get it.
Burn it all down live. Don't try.
Burn it all down live. Don't try, and just realize who are you playing for? Like, why are you dancing to Shivers by Ed Sheeran on TikTok if you don't even listen to Ed Sheeran? Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, you don't even listen to Ed Sheeran. It's like, why are you doing that? It's like, are you just trying to get views? What do those views get you? Just a lottery ticket of algorithmic currency that you're not going to be able to compound and translate into any real world value ultimately. And I was thinking like that a lot when I was first starting to do Cosmic Country. I was like covering songs singing them on TikTok that I didn't like, or trying to angle things in a way that wasn't me. And I realized like you had to go through that and do that because the psyche demanded that of me. But now my psyche has allowed me to realize like my portfolio of my eggs, some of it's in social, but most of it's here, because this is really what matters to me for my vision.
I think that's right on par with. That feels correct.
Yeah, and whatever that's.
My trip says that's correct.
Hell yeah, there you go.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Practice, yeah.
Practice. So I learned I met you at the Southern Brewing Co. just north of here in Athens when you played there.
Where was that? Remind me of that.
This was April. No, this wasn't April. This was maybe October. October or something.
Fall, yeah.
Yeah, it was last
21?
fall. 21?
21 or 20?
2021. Yeah, 20,
How do I not
21.
remember this?
For sure.
How do I not remember that at all?
A lot of shows.
Oh!
A lot of shows.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Susto played.
Yes.
That was a good gig. That was really muddy. We had to load in through the mud, and I ruined my fry boots.
You ruined your fry boots that night?
Because they didn't really.
Oh, it was a little rainy.
It was, and then it was really muddy. Loading in. Yeah,
Your
but
boots were sick, dude.
Patience, persistence, positivity.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, but practice.
So, the practice, actually, that after I ask you this, so I saw you in an interview talking about your home studio and how you would wake up in the morning, and the first thing you do is pick up your acoustic guitar and start recording your acoustic guitar and your vocals at the same time, and just seeing what comes out, and throw it away if it's not good when you edit it, or just listen to it later or the next day or whatever it is. But you have the muse sort of comes out in the morning for you.
Yeah, that's like you hear that, like you can observe that particular pattern with like a lot of different people. You know, a lot of people wake up early and they get to an intentional state to work and create. There's books on it. Like Cosmic Music is a great book.
Cosmic Music.
Yeah. It talks to like, and there's like scientific, or there's like empirical information that shows that
You're more creative in the AM kind of deal.
the essentially time functions a little bit differently when there's less people awake. Especially since part of our consciousness is tied to a collective consciousness that we're not even aware of all the time. So when that hub of consciousness has all these, hot spots that are joined in, when there's less people in there, you can kind of get in touch with the thing that is not a person, which is the muse, Yeah, I love the morning time, and my calendar, like what I would do on it's usually changing. But right now it's like the wake up and start singing and writing, or just running through songs that I'm working out. Yeah.
I'm curious because I'm living with 3 other people right now, but I'm like, I need to move out because I want to wake up and do that thing that you do, but it's impossible with 3 other people in the house.
Totally.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
so you agree with that?
You can allow yourself to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, even though there is a voice inside of you that won't ever shut up about it.
Sure.
Objectively, it's all right.
They're judging me. I can't push any further. I can't go any lower with my voice. Like, they're thinking my guitar's weird. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like that, just a little bit of that, and then you can kind of just a little bit of distraction thought-wise for that is enough for me to, let's just get to work. Let's just do the software stuff for the day, and then we'll be okay.
Yeah,
and then
everything's fine
like,
there.
It's like, all right, didn't write today.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Yeah.
But for you, it's like it is your job too. So it's your environment has to be based around what your job is in that way.
Yeah.
Like making it to where the muse can come up at any time and you can capture it no matter what kind of deal when you're at home.
Yeah.
And because, man, I went to a guitar store here a few days ago, and I was sitting there. There was multiple people in there. This is the other side of the coin.
Cool.
But I wrote a full song in there.
Yeah.
But like a little with a bridge and everything. And there was other people in there, but it was about playing songs for free. And I was like, okay, this is a great premise for other people around at the same time. So anyway.
Yeah.
That is the collective consciousness of creating a song when other people are around kind of listening.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel uncomfortable in that scenario, I guess.
And that's interesting to unpack why. It's because you didn't know them, and there wasn't already a pre-established identity that you had to adhere to.
That's probably it.
That's why a lot of people don't like to play for their family. Or sing for people that they're related to. It's like, it kind of conflicts with our identity contract that we have. It's weird to break
True.
that. Yeah.
True. I had to move to California for that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had to move to California and find my voice there because, like in the South, I grew up in Birmingham, Alabama. My dad's dad was a cotton farmer, like sleep on a dirt floorboard.
Holy shit.
And they both built their own businesses. My mom and my dad did.
Wow.
And so they taught me all about business creation and stuff like that. So they're very like, doom, doom, doom.
Right.
Yeah. And I have this kind of thing that's like, float wherever your heart kind of wants you to float there. Just go experience that, whatever this is right here that I like about this area.
Yeah.
Whatever this is, all the particles here feels good. Now it's here.
Yeah.
Wherever it is.
It's non-linear.
Yeah. Okay, so another question for you.
Yeah.
All right, so you said you were built for touring in the interview.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that like a personality thing, you think?
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah.
So do you think that like anyone can tour?
No.
Like, you don't think so?
No.
Okay. I like how you're very
It's very obvious
Yeah.
that not everybody can tour.
Yeah.
And the people who would disagree with me just haven't done it enough.
Sure.
Truly.
Yeah.
Not everyone can tour. That doesn't mean you can't totally succeed and find what you're at. But touring is a very specific kind of a career. Like, it's extremely specific. So no, not everybody can go be a great basketball player. As a kid, you should go try many things. But no, to do it at a professional, like at a high level of expertise with high intensity and accuracy, not everyone can do it.
Gotcha.
I would, and I think that's where it's like, it's a very loose style. Like, just let alone on the circadian rhythm. Just that asset's completely out the window
Yeah.
at first until you have enough wealth of time and capital and consistency to be able to take that back from Mother Nature.
That's what's sacrificed at first.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the many things.
Interesting.
But then it's also just like you're just doing things. You're doing a different way of life than like most people when you're doing this. But there's nothing else I'd rather do.
Right.
There's nothing else I really can do. Because they're, again, disagreeable, right? So if I'm disagreeable on this level of my consciousness talking with you guys, imagine how internally disagreeable my invisible archetypes of character are with each other. There's nothing that would allow me to go to law school or do anything that was, not this. Even though I had all the grades in the world to do so and all the opportunities, there's great schools in Nashville, family, recommendations, legacies, whatever. This is what I gotta do, so not everybody can tour. It's really specialized.
Do you think it takes an extrovert to tour?
No.
Do you think introverts can tour as well?
Well, you exist on a spectrum of introvert, extrovert.
Right.
It's oftentimes the male stance to say things of like, I am this, or I made this happen, or things. And it's like, if you were to take the stance of the anima, which is like the female, which is like, you're both. Like you're a person, right? Words are hard. You're both. You're introverted and you're extroverted, and you rest on the spectrum in between. And things happen all the time without you contributing anything to them. And those things affect your life wildly, beautifully, and negatively all the time. So I know several artists and musicians that are just the most introverted people you would ever meet, that are just so superb at what they do, and they get on stage and they're fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think you're definitely an extrovert, Wim? Wim Tapley, yeah.
Very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely.
Hell yeah.
I'm
good to
like,
know.
I feel like I'm an introvert, but like if this is the spectrum of introvert and extrovert, I can exist in this area.
Yeah.
You're like my mom. She's an extroverted introvert. So she can go out and like make the connections and stuff, but her energy is made through alone time.
Like spending time alone is really nice.
It's necessary.
I get drained. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's necessary to spend time because you're not actually alone when you're alone.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you're just not like, you're probably not like Sam Harris. At least it's what Sam Harris says, where you can just completely quiet your mind. Like odds are there's a dialogue going on, and those beings that you're talking to influence you just the way humans might. So who's to say you're alone?
Past experiences are with you, right?
Yeah, and like, oh, did I say that?
Sure.
Oh, and then you're replaying it in your mind. Or, oh, that was good. I'm glad that song went that way. And then I go there in my mind. And you're never really like alone. You just have like less mortal activity. But you're never alone. It's like that, so it's like spending quiet time, with no other people. That's the thing. And that's what Nikola Tesla said to do. That's where ideas are born, is in solitude. It's what it's what Walden's all about. There's plenty of characters throughout time that would testify to the efficiency of like time without other people. But just because there's not people around doesn't mean that there's not beings that are present within your consciousness that you're talking to. You know what I mean? It's like that's just like my abstract take on it too.
Please.
Yeah.
And I mean, abstract is what I want to go for.
Yeah.
Especially in this interview for sure.
Yeah, man. See,
Interview, podcast, art form, spectrum, whatever color wheel kind of thing, universe you want to call
a
this.
podcast is like a socially acceptable framework for the abstract.
Yeah. Like I
Wonderful.
wouldn't be able to talk to you if we weren't doing a podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, think about this. Like we are we are fully like consciously talking right now, and we're also aware that the people listening to this, we don't know what they look like, sound like, how what they're doing when they're listening to it, but we are aware that there's like other conscious beings listening to this. And that's strange. That's like it's totally
like
proof
pulling
of the
you
collective
in that
consciousness.
direction.
Yeah. So the intention of a podcast like seems to just be a brilliant thing because like you're talking to other people, but there's not really a crowd of people.
Right. Right.
So
That's wild, man.
Do you
yeah.
have the same experience when you're writing an album.
Yeah.
You're thinking about the listener that you can't see.
All the
But
time.
you're still,
All the time. Yeah. Yeah. All the time. Absolutely. Or when I'm just writing pieces for songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the time, man.
Is it
That's what Freud would call the id.
the id?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Which is like the prefix to identity. ID. And it's just like society. It's other people. It's you feeling judged,
Yeah. Do you feel like there's
It's also positive too. It's not just bad.
Sure. Do you feel like there is an expectation of you from like all the people that listen to your music currently? And I mean, you obviously feel that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If you went and did like some pop record or something.
I couldn't really. Yeah. Yeah. Right now, it's all cosmic country, So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to build up what that is.
Sure.
More, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
cosmic country. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah.
It's such a cool. Did you come up with that? It's just like
I
cosmic.
thought I
country.
did, but now that I do it longer, I realize that Graham Parsons called himself that, and then Bob Weir refers to cosmic country in interviews, and it's so I look at it now more as like a like I'm a branch on a tree. You
Okay.
know, and I'm just really thrilled to be doing it,
Yeah.
like really.
Yeah.
thrilled. Yeah.
And you have the Cosmic Country Club too on your website.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like
yeah.
our list, and that's our community.
Yeah.
People,
Yeah. Yeah. Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
I love that.
But did you have a question on practice that you wanted to hit on?
Yeah. Let's hit that. So like, you're obviously a fantastically beautiful guitarist, and like all the videos of you online are incredible, man. Like incredible, man.
Thank you.
Like it's such a young age too.
I know, it's weird.
And so you've done all these courses now too. You did pick up music.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I learned from you in a sort of like a level 3 out of 8 kind of deal, not in the pickup music, but in a different thing that like pentatonic scale all the way up and down the neck with minor and major.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess I'm wondering like what the next step of that would be like for someone like me, because like I'm kind of there, and he's like at level like 6 or 7.
Damn,
No,
Wim.
man.
Bro, he's good, dude.
All right.
Appreciate
Wim
it.
is a killer, bro.
Yeah, well, if you're on 6 or
Well,
7.
I have to admit, you taught me the same thing. I watched your video doing the combining the major and minor stuff, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's getting a little cosmic. Like, and I was in high school, like, watching your stuff.
Holy
Learning
shit.
Yeah.
That means the world.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, the next level,
Yeah.
I think it's just like anything. Like, so you use words to improvise with language. Like, this conversation's improvised. Like, people can watch, they can see there's not a script. So, you have a knowledge of, like, a collection of ideas that you can just draw upon invisibly and just create a flow with. So, if you substitute in the framework of a conversation words with notes, you got to know something just as well as you know your words. And the pentatonic scales are the most simple scale. They're even more simple than the major and natural minor scale. So like the Ionian mode and the Aeolian mode. They're 5. Those other aforementioned scales are 7 notes. And if you even look at the word pentatonic, penta and then tonic, in this context, it means tone, but tonic, you hear of like tonic water, right? It's a carbonated water without flavor. And so, it's essentially like the water of music. It's like the most simple scale there is. So if you understand the most simple scale there is, and you know how to communicate with it within the two forces of music, melodically speaking, not rhythmically, within major and minor, which is yin and yang. If you know yin and yang, and you know it in the most simple, truest, boiled down water forms, then you plant water, you throw water on any soil, and it's going to grow something. So that's the way I kind of look at like developing the importance of knowing like the scales like really well. And then I talk about all the time, like there's like non-creative practice and there's creative practice. But you never really stop like learning these scales. These were the first things my dad taught me, was like minor pentatonic position 1 and like the key of A, 5th fret. And then like he laid that importance on me, and then I kind of took it upon myself to like get like the other patterns down. And then it was like, he's like, you gotta combine major and minors, like move it down 3 frets or so. And I was just totally fucking baffled by that. I didn't know how to use that at all. But now it's like, you can see it's just the entire framework for like everything that happens. And you can listen to Jerry, you can listen to Trey, you can listen to Jimmy, you can listen to Stevie, you can listen to John. It will be anyone, man, or Billy Strings. Like, they're all using kind of the same scale. So it's kind of like these archetypal tools that every guitarist like has to know. I'm baffled by how it's only 5 notes. Like, you listen to Joe Bonamassa play, and like, given there's some chromatic elements going on there, he has 5 minor notes and 5 major notes. It's like 10 notes. It's fucking crazy. How does A Whole Lot of Love, like how does Little Wing and Your Body's a Wonderland, like anything, like Bird Song. It's like, it's absurd that there's been that much music made with that few number of notes. It's absurd.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could go all day.
Okay,
Yeah.
so know your scales. Know the notes.
Practice on prom night.
I had a gig on prom night. I'll never forget it. There was this girl. I asked. Her name was Kayla, and I just like loved this girl so much in high school. And I asked her out to prom, and she of course said no. Which was like, it was like, no, granted, I had girlfriends in high school, so I wasn't like totally hurt or anything. Like, it's not like the archetypal story of like the guy who like is just, like never touched a girl or anything like that. It was like, it kind of hurt my heart. And then, oddly enough, prom night ended up being on a night I was playing with Dawn at Roberts. And we just finished the song Ramblin' Man, the Allman Brothers song. And where you are at Roberts on the stage is you can kind of turn around and see the street. Mm-hmm. And it just turned out that prom night for Independence High School, I think it was like 2013 or 2012, they were having at the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum, which is a block away from Roberts. And I saw Kayla and this guy like walking past Roberts. Like right after we finished playing this song Ramblin' Man, and the whole bar just like, fuck yeah, like people like throwing 20s on stage, and like, and then I just see this. It was like, to me it's like, that's just beautiful, it's like that, instantly. I've always kind of had a synchronicity UV meter in my psyche, and as I've gotten older and I've looked into Carl Jung's concept of what synchronicity is, it's like I really realize now, it's like I have a lot of faith. Not in any sense that's like tied to Christianity or Catholicism or Judaism, but just like an overall objective faith in universal happenings, that was for a reason. That, I finished this song that just melts my heart and brings me alive like a phoenix through the ashes. And then I turn around and I see this girl walking by, and it's like, oh, great. This is where you focus your vision, man. It won't matter in 5 years. Feel the heart now. Feel the feelings. Accept them. Don't deny them. But yeah, it was like that kind of a funny ass moment,
That's a great story.
Yeah, man. I have a lot of those weird, like synchronous, just, perfectly fitted moments that only the universe could create for you at that place in space and time. And we kind of all do. I'm sure you could have like, oh, how did that happen?
Sure.
How did I meet that person? And
right.
It's like,
like one of these kind of things right here for me.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
Let's go.
That's awesome, man.
Yes, with practice, I would just say, the first thing to do is to have
Caitlin's like,
no,
Kayla? Was it her name?
Kayla. I actually ended up. I ran into Kayla like years later, and like asked her out again. And she like still said no. So I don't think she cares. I don't think I'm her type. I think her boyfriend now like works at like Alliance Bernstein. He's like a finance guy. So that just boils down to like personality types, like
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. What's your girl type? Like, what are you into?
I don't know. I'm still figuring that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're open though.
I'm very open.
You
Yeah.
got a
I'm also
big
pretty
old
like,
spectrum.
yeah. Yeah.
All
I
right.
like girls.
So, can I ask you about women on the road?
Let's go.
Okay. So, have you had like any like things on the road or anything like
Yeah.
texting conversations or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then also, man, I mean, first, did you have anything like before the texting thing happened that you want to share?
Like intimacies?
Not intimacies, but I mean just like something that happens that you're like, yeah, vibe, kind of. Are you texting any girls right now? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started the first the first quote unquote cosmic country show was really strange. Again, another synchronous moment. I've only had one girl that I've like ever loved. Like seriously, like you love somebody when you know that you don't have any power over it. When it's a discovered phenomena of service and admiration and it's only happened with one person. My ex-girlfriend Aubrey, who was an actress, is an actress, but she was on the show Nashville, and I met her at Roberts. I finished playing a song and I turned around and she was there, and I just instantly knew I loved her. I loved her so much, and we ended up dating and we were together for like 4 years.
Oh wow!
Right around 4 years. And like the first quote unquote cosmic country show was like the last time I ever saw her before we broke up. So it was kind of this ending of one chapter of my life and the starting of another. And I haven't really encountered the feeling of love since then. And what that experience in life gave me the asset of knowing was the value of what love is and like what love can be. Granted, we didn't have any children, we didn't get married, so I don't know how deep love can go, but I knew it was love. And I knew that I loved love. And I haven't felt it then. And so
you loved love.
I'm equipped with like this Harry Potter scar of love. And if I feel it, then I'll serve it. But now nothing's really been like love, I respect girls. I'm not out here like fucking like being a hoe.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But
you come off as that too.
Yeah.
Like you come off as like, yeah, I mean, it's, whatever, but yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But yeah. You got to have a healthy dosage of like the anima and the animus, which is like Carl Jung's delineation of female and male energy, feminine and masculine rather. And those things are characterized and personified throughout all things in life. Like consciousness is rather masculine in its nature because it's trying to constantly conquer Mother Nature. You use your consciousness to create your life and to...
Wait, can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, so like the feminine and masculine energies are not just adherent to mortal beings such as women and men and or other mammals. Like things are feminine. Experiences are masculine. So like the world we live in, gravity, physics, you're immortal, so you're going to die. That's ultimately a feminine thing. The thing that creates life also takes it away. In consciousness is rather masculine because you're using your consciousness to stop Mother Nature, the feminine, from killing you. You use your consciousness to not get hit by a car. Physics is the only real law. Everything else is a suggestion. If you get hit by like a Nissan Altima going 40 miles an hour, you're fucked. Right? And that's Mother Nature winning. So you're going to use your masculine consciousness to conquer that. And I'm not saying that...
Mother killed you.
Mother killed you. And everyone has these. And some people might be taking this like really wrong. Like,
No.
And if they are, that's okay.
But, like,
it's not my problem.
There's like the masculine... So you said the masculine like consciousness is sort of like conquering the feminine like Mother Nature to try and protect yourself.
Yeah, which you ultimately will lose
which
to.
Women do too.
Absolutely.
This is exactly what we're saying.
Yeah, so this isn't a topic on gender or sex.
Yeah.
It's these are archetypal energies that we're given
Yeah.
when you're born. They're wired into you, on all levels, even the serotonin system that you operate on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people can identify a guy who sits up and walks straight, and that has a total effect on everyone.
People like this.
Yeah.
And smiles. People like smiles.
Yeah.
Somehow, I was thinking about it the other day.
Oxytocin is that. That's what that is.
Oxytocin?
Yeah. Oxytocin is the act of that. So like when you look at a dog, check this out. My sister has bunnies. She has 2 bunnies, Pepper and Cinnamon. And she fucking loves those bunnies. She's 11 years old. Loves those bunnies. Really. And I'll come home from the road and I'll bring her all kinds of gifts and stuff, and she doesn't give a shit about them because she's just like staring at the bunnies. And she's like, just look in their eyes, Dan. And I'm like, well, you're experiencing oxytocin right now. And she doesn't know what that means. But when you look at another being in the eyes for a long enough period of time, there's literally a chemical reaction that goes off in your brain that is like a dopaminergic reward. And I don't know why or how that happens. That's beyond, but I'm just really interested in the phenomena of that occurrence. That's why we love cute things. That's why we love cats, like on Instagram, even though I don't like cats really, but I like watching videos of cats and like cute chihuahuas and shit like that because they're cute little animals.
They are.
And it's the oxytocin action in your brain.
Huh.
I don't know how we got there.
I don't either. I think we just like went on a little branch, a little cosmic. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's cool. That's cool. I'm not sure.
This is how we
what
got there. You asked if I'm seeing any girls.
That's right.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Back to the source. Back to the source. Page.
Yeah. I always have a spot. Like I'm always wanting to find love.
This
like
is what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
So love is a spectrum too, right? So you can work on love, right? Like you experience this side of the spectrum where you see a girl, love at first sight, and then there's the other side of the spectrum where you don't love her at all, but you work on it. Like there's
don't love him in an intimate way. I try to have love for everyone.
Okay, yeah, of course.
Yeah. But in terms of
cosmically, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, but in terms of like the polar, like the spectrum or like the dichotomy of a relationship, say you have like intimacy and frequency being variables. You know, I have total love for you guys, but this is like our first time hanging. So therefore, like our frequency and intimacy this is our first frequency time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
But if we were to hang a lot and we were to become better friends, intimacy and frequency would go up. So that's the thing that kind of you can measure in a quantitative sense, the abstract nature that's a relationship is like intimacy and frequency. So at the start of that paradigm, you got it's optimal to have love. Because that'll just change the experience overall as opposed to hate, which is what's so shitty about Instagram and Facebook and social media in general. Is it makes you hate people before it gives you the opportunity to hate people before you meet them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Casual contempt for people you don't understand. But yeah, you were talking about like seeing a girl and loving them on first sight and then like seeing them and not loving them. Where were you going with that?
I'm curious as to like well, you believe it's possible then, right? Like I'm sure because like you believe that sort of like paradoxes are sort of an answer to questions that people don't know how to answer kind of deal.
Yeah, they're a way to like scimitar your way through the foliage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I,
you know what I mean? I played a lot of RuneScape, dude, in elementary school.
I imagine like Tropic Thunder, like Ben Stiller, just like hitting.
Robert Downey Jr. painting himself black and he's Australian. It's like the funniest fucking.
Best, dude.
Yeah, such a good movie. Such a good movie. All those movies.
Give him a map.
Yeah, it's absurd, but yeah.
Okay. By the way, the Kyle Crownover episode was awesome too. He's great.
He's a deep man, Kyle.
Yeah, he is.
He's a deep man.
I like him a lot.
I love Kyle.
Yeah.
That's something Kyle and I were talking about though. He's like, I can only write funny songs right now. It's like, well, you're only writing for social media. It's like you can only write songs about shitting yourself.
Dude, I've been on like kind of like I feel like a bender for like the past like 3 weeks kind of deal. You're looking at me like I know. No, you need to stop hanging out with me. So it's a combo. But like us together is deadly.
Yeah,
good.
I'm crashing at his house. So
Hell yeah.
It's so much fun though.
Hell yeah.
But like even my brain right now is forgetting like what I was beginning with because
That's okay.
of this, but yeah. All right, so the circadian rhythm is like the first thing to go on the road.
Yeah, it's one of them.
So is there a thing that stays consistent on the road somewhere?
Hopefully the music.
Okay.
Hopefully the energy you can bring to the music.
I feel like that's 100%.
And then vision.
Vision stays the same.
So the dichotomy of like frequency and intimacy, there's another dichotomy. Like I mentioned major minor, that's a dichotomy. Non-creative creative, that's a dichotomy. Vision. I wonder if they could hear that on the record. Probably, whatever, who cares?
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever. I think it's kind of cool, maybe a little bit. They'll be able to hear us mostly, right?
Yeah. It's kind of cool. It's fitting for the Cosmic Country trip.
Yeah, cosmic.
Oh yeah, key of C, by the way. I'd rather, yeah.
I've got another question for you that you might spark.
Yeah, let me finish this thought.
Okay.
Chaos and order. Those are things. That's the dichotomy of the road. Vision allows you to see order throughout the chaos that's presently presenting itself to you. So that's the thing I try to keep the biggest consistency with. That's why I don't get pissed when we got to go stay in smoking room motel rooms. I get pissed for a minute. I allow myself to. I don't take the male stance and say go away feeling, fuck you. I allow the feeling to come in and be like, okay, have your way with me feeling, but then go away eventually when you've had your way. And so vision, that's the biggest thing I would say to anybody who wants to do anything, is vision.
Vision and music.
Vision with your life. It's more than that. It's like, just what is your vision? That's a hard question, man, because that's actually a moving target.
Yeah.
That changes because you change. You value things differently now at your age than you did when you were 7.
Yeah.
Your vision, of your life when you were 7 is way different than it is now.
For sure.
So vision always changes.
I've thought about this so much, man, because it does change for me. Because like I was thinking, I want to tour, and then I did tour, and then it's like, don't want to tour.
So now you know that not everybody can tour. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And
my dad can't. We drove down to
purely
Pensacola
selfish
Beach.
thing of me asking you that,
No, it's not.
I'm
Dude.
trying to figure that out for myself.
What are you trying to figure out?
Well, also like with my squad too, who I want on my squad as well. And like with the vision thing, do you ask or do you hang out with your band members a lot to communicate your vision to them, and like they kind of know what you want and what you're up to, just one-on-one kind of deal? Do you hang out with your band members to try and...
We're spending so much time together right now.
Yeah.
Like the one-on-one time.
It's conducive right now. It's very like adhesive. Y'all are very together.
Yeah, like when we're home, we see each other. Like we'll go out to Honky Tonk Tuesday, which is like a local event every week in Nashville or something like that, and we'll like drink Colorado Kool-Aids.
I saw you and Will hanging out together, I think, one night.
Will and I hang out all the time.
Yeah.
Or Nathan and I, or Joe and I. But really, it's like we really have a lot of time on the road together. Like we're together all the time out here. I'm always telling him like my vision for this is that, and for the song it's this, Or like when we got the recording rig put together for all of our shows going out on Nug soon. Here's my vision for that. You know what I mean? And so it's like, it's just kind of always realizing that you're surveying a potential future that you're responsible for. You're not 100% responsible, because that's a foolish mortal idea to believe, but you are partly responsible, probably over 50%. And so the vision, man, that's the biggest thing. Yeah.
By the way, we can end anytime you want.
Oh, dude,
so.
I love talking.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we like listening.
Hell yeah.
Just over an hour.
Whatever you're feeling, you let me know.
Cool. Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out what band is going to work for me and how to be good with them in a way that is like, I'm very focused and I have a strong vision, and having people that are around me that sort of share that idea is like hard for me to find right now, specifically because I mean I'm in the beginning of everything right now, but I guess less so with like software and stuff, but with music for sure. So I'm curious because I've read all these books, these business books about how to build a good team around you and how to get like all the people on your vision and figure out what they can do inside that little spectrum. But I guess I'm having another weird thing because like I'm living with my band members too, so it's a little too much.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Because then that's where you get into the career idea where like a career never actually turns off.
Yeah.
It's not like a job. It's like not like my sister's job at Jenny's Ice Cream, where like she goes home and she doesn't care about ice cream.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a
Yeah.
luxury within itself, but there's also shadow elements to that as well. A career is the opposite. Like it never really does turn off. Never. You just gotta practice time with not you being focused on it. I just did a quick roundup in my mind. I think I've had 7 bands, different iterations of bands since 2018.
All playing with you?
Yeah, for
like you
Cosmic
singing
Country.
and playing guitar? Okay,
Yeah.
all for Cosmic.
Like 7.
Wow.
And that was 2018. So then there was I started playing music professionally in 2010. So there was 8 years of bands then too.
Wow.
So you have 8 years of numerous bands, which I can't even be really, not even qualified presently to even know how many that is. At least 50 plus. Plus the 8 or 7 or 8 that's been in Cosmic Country. So it's
Yeah.
that's the thing is vision scimitars your way through the foliage of reality.
Yeah.
And you will find the people.
Yeah.
And that's the thing where you're going to use your consciousness to say to Mother Nature that I am going to get what I want.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, it has to happen. It has to happen.
Yeah.
And there is no other way for
Yeah.
me. There's absolutely no other way.
And there's many ways to the arrival at no other way.
Yeah. And as long as I keep pushing to get there,
Persisting.
some of these might, whatever, but keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then some of these might catch back up or whatever
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
So, do you rehearse at your place?
We have a spot.
Okay.
We have a
You
spot
one
down-
spot.
yeah.
A couple.
Yeah, the
something
Down
like
Boy
that?
House. That's what we call it.
The Down Boy house.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Nathan in Noah's living room right now.
Oh,
But my
really?
vision is I'm
Okay,
buying a house soon.
Yeah.
And so I want to have a little, I need to have a center to where we could rehearse and leave everything set up and we'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I played with Nathan and Noah when they were playing for Down Boy and at the Mockingbird in Franklin when we played the show with Fresh Squeeze, if you know them. I think they're the Honeymoons band now. But they play it.
Good band, right? Down Boy?
Yeah.
Really good band.
My God. The funk
Yeah.
comes out of that. Crazy. And
Yeah.
Nathan's voice.
Absurd. There's no other man with that voice.
I mean, piano and guitar too.
And just
Switching
him.
back and forth.
Just who he is. Yeah. Everyone loves Nathan.
He's lovely, dude.
Yeah, he's a lovely man.
He's lovely.
He's really integrated his feminine powers really well into his being, which is really hard to do for a lot of people, but for him it seems to be pretty natural.
Yeah.
It's admirable to be around him all the time. I think he's a genius.
I think it's extremely smart. I mean, all the records they put out have been
Really
fantastic.
good. And he makes them all. That's his thing too. That's where I'm different. It's he doesn't want to have anyone mix it, master it, produce it.
He wants to do all of it.
All himself.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? I'm a little different that way.
So
I didn't start that way. I started, I'm going to do it all. But as I've done it more, I realize I like delegating.
Yeah. That's easier for you, right? Because, you have...
It's more
you can-
effective for me.
Yeah,
It's
you
probably
can
better
focus
than
on the
easier.
things you want to focus on.
Yeah, or the things that I'm more qualified to adhere to the vision of what I have.
Right.
For my vision, I think of all the things you delegate. When you're driving, you're not thinking, okay, blood, go ahead and rush to my left and right foot to hit on the brakes. You're delegating so much to your autonomic nervous system all the day.
Yeah.
So you're constantly delegating. So it's how do you delegate consciously? I liked having really good engineers that have only done that trade for decades.
Yeah.
And producers
Yeah.
that produce bands all the fucking time.
Yeah.
But that's the thing though, man. We're all on our own trip. And you're given the responsibility to see what you want to contribute to it.
Yeah. By the way, Waymore's Blues is definitely my favorite song.
Thank you.
on
Me
the
too.
record.
Me too.
Really?
So that one,
God, it's so good.
that was the only song where it was I think it was the second take.
God.
It was the second take, smoked a little weed, turned the lights down, and yeah.
My brother met you in Birmingham, by the way. He was like, "Oh, Drew's my brother. He's
Oh
gonna get you on
yeah,
the podcast."
he was nice, man.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, dude.
Super close though.
Yeah, you guys look alike.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
we do. But that's his favorite song too. Waymore's Blues is sick.
We'll play it for you tonight.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. And then Why You Been Gone So Long is great
Yeah.
too.
Thank you. John co-produced that with me.
Yeah.
John Radford.
Yeah.
That's a great thing, man.
How many songs did he do with you, like co-produce with you?
We did 8 songs.
Okay.
We cut 10.
Yeah.
I think that record's 8 or 9 songs.
Yeah.
I think 9 songs like the perfect length for a record.
Okay. 9 songs?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
A lot of my favorite record. Well, I've had like different thoughts that led to that synopsis, and it was initially like, why do I, when I listen to 9-song records, I'm not tired after the first song comes back on again. Well, it's like just enough content, and then you get into like you can get way abstract and Carl Jung about it and realize, and also Nikola Tesla about it, and see that 3 is kind of this symbolic figure that has shown its face throughout transpersonal cultures all the time throughout history, recorded history. 3, 6, and 9. 3 is within music. It's what chords are built on. The major third and the minor third are the most important notes in music, arguably, aside from the 1 and the 5. Just like 9, just like an interesting number. I kind of like the challenge too. It's like T.S. Eliot said, necessity is the mother of invention. It gives you a good framework to think about it. And I also write our set lists in what are thought of as like episodes. So when I was dating Aubrey, I would read over the episodes of Nashville with her all the time. And there were oftentimes 3 segments, which is, the 3-act structure is how any play goes through. And then Joseph Campbell talks about the hero's journey occurring in 3 structures as well. So I write our set list out in episodes of 3 songs that all are tied together in a certain way, and it creates the Cosmic Country Experience simulation of the night. I just like 9.
Because like 3 songs together, that's like a scene.
The scene.
In a. I heard you say that in an interview, and I was like, I'm doing that for the next show I do.
It's really effective.
And I did it, and then I forgot to make a set list.
Hey, well, check this out.
It was.
You gotta also trust in the intuition of your abandon, because if you want to, I did it the other night. I worked my band hard, dude. We were playing in Charlotte, and we had a sold out show. We oversold out.
Yeah.
By like 30 or 40 tickets. And it was just like sweaty, fucking thank you. But we were going to take a set break, but there was no green room. It was like this small little venue, the evening news. There's no fucking green room. So like if we take a set break, everyone's going to leave. So we ended up playing 3 hours. And I just said, fuck the set list. And I was just going Trey Anastasio, Jack White style and just not doing a set list. And just thinking of what the next song was. And I believed in what, because there's this idea that Jordan Peterson turned me to be aware of, although it's not his. Where are your thoughts coming from? Where is your idea to say, why have you gone so long next? Where is that coming from? You don't know. If you were to cut open my brain, there's no little figure in there typing it out to me, saying, why have you gone so long? And the Justice and the Jessica and the Double Exposure. Who knows where that voice is coming from? So I'm going to actually take the opposite stance and like actually think that there might be a special voice. I'm going to listen to it. Yeah. And
There's
follow
got to
it.
be like, to some degree, like when that voice arises, to play that song. It's almost like even if you have a set list, it's like, no, this one.
My mentor, Marshall, said something to me the other day that is just like, sometimes we have the free will to question things that we have no right to question. So I'm questioning a lot less these days and just following. And I've arrived at that with a lot of thought and a lot of experience to back it up. Not like I just read it at a fortune cookie after some General Tso's chicken. And I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
It was like a lot of years of like doing things and thinking about them and like being able to twiddle this little twig out of the forest of consciousness. Be like, I'm going to keep this one in my satchel. Be like,
Thanks, Marshall.
yeah. Yeah, Marshall's the man. I love him.
Yeah. So, I get there's 3 ways I want to go.
Cool.
I want to ask you like about mentors.
Okay.
I want to ask you about like what you meant by kind of like what you mean by like now like your intuition is saying that like let's just go with the mentors. Let's just go with the mentors.
Great.
Yeah. Like, so are you searching out mentors? Do they find you kind of deal,
Yeah, they
or is it
always
like
have.
how do you work with that? Because like I have a lot of people that are good mentors, but like they're not in the space that I want to be in, but they're extremely successful in the space that they're in.
They probably have transpersonal artifacts of wisdom that you can apply to anything.
Yeah, for sure. Like one of my mentors, Dabu Tripathi, was like, there's a spectrum between intuition and information. Like
there you
learning
go.
Scales and then performing.
Virgil Abloh calls that Taurus first purist. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I was in a great mood when he told me. I was like in such a like, I love everybody mood. And, he was like, Drew, there's a spectrum between intuition and information. I remember exactly where he told me. I had my journal out, like writing stuff down.
Great.
It was just like a nice, emotional, loving moment.
Good.
Where I was on no drugs or anything like that. So it was just like.
Just the drug of consciousness.
Possible. Yeah.
No. Totally.
I guess I wasn't drinking often at all. Very like sober. Very sober.
Nice. Good.
I think I was a couple, maybe like 1 or 2 in or something like that.
There you go. Okay, so something.
But I was sober for like 6 months before that. 6 to like 8 months before, which was a beautiful time of my life. I learned a
they're
lot
all
about
beautiful.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are all beautiful. And right now I'm finding like, okay, you need to reassess. You need to go back to that, because there's like, when I was touring, there was this thing of, when I was tired, it was like the best thing to do was to drink 2 or 3 beers before you go on stage.
Yeah.
And then it was like, all right, you'll have the energy for 45 minutes as the opener.
Yeah.
And then I would perform well.
Uh-huh.
And then I'd get off and I'd be tired.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But all right, so you don't ever get tired.
Oh, I get plenty tired.
You do.
Fuck yeah.
You get plenty tired.
Yeah, dude.
Do you,
I just slept in a smoking room motel room at the Night's Inn last night with pillows that were the size of your journal. Like these small ass tiny gross pillows.
What?
Yeah, it was fucking terrible. Yeah.
God, I hate that for you, bro.
In the TV, I swear to God, every channel was soft porn.
Every channel was soft porn.
It only had access to because the remote was all fucked up. So it was just like soft porn on my TV. I couldn't even watch Impractical Jokers to go to bed.
Right on, man.
Information versus intuition. That is the self is what Carl Jung refers to, which is what you're born. You're yourself. And then there's all these, although accurate and necessary assets of cultural necessities that you have that you're taught. But what we can do is kind of prioritize those over the self. And that's where the information starts to take up more disk space than the intuition. And the people who are really able to maintain their childlike flow with life, that's coming from the intuitive source.
Absolutely.
Which is feminine.
Yep.
And you're given all these masculine ideas of consciousness to learn how to conquer society and form your own life and form a team and do your thing. Mm-hmm. But you got to integrate both of those, and that's like a Freudian action. It's amazing, man. So it's like following your intuition is something that people used to do all the fucking time. Think about, like, you look at the Bible, it's like something would happen, like a fish would hop out of the water and somebody would think that was the act of God. It's like we used to credit everything to the mystic.
Yeah.
But now we're in this time in life where we credit everything to a causal scientific process.
That's so true.
But there's
dude.
actually a spectrum of both. And music is really interesting because it's like the place of the muse. If you look at the word music, muse, the prefix, and then ik, which is the form of or the becoming of something. So you have like the muse that is becoming. Want to wrap in like 5? 5 or 2? Okay, cool.
I wasn't rushing. It was good, man.
Okay.
Yeah, they just hit. We're still going for that
10:15.
10:15.
Oh, then we got more time. Good.
This is
Yeah.
my bathroom with a door in the whole establishment.
And dude, that urinal downstairs is disgusting.
Oh, I pooped in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
mentors, yeah. I've always had mentors my
Yeah.
whole life. They've
Yeah.
always appeared when I needed them to. Not even when I didn't even know they were at the time until years after.
Yeah. Like it's becoming apparent to me that there's like multiple people in my life.
Yeah.
Like a couple of years ago, it's become apparent to me that these people want to be a part of my life in a larger way than just to be friends kind of deal. And like whenever I ask
Intimacy,
them
frequency,
questions
yeah.
and stuff, they give me answers, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's the third part of the hero's
it's kind of
journey.
like my part of my tribe. Like I have this like, yeah.
The third
What-
part of the hero's journey is to return back to the garden and bring back the gold.
Right. Right.
So the gold of information.
right.
And so the people who have achieved things because they went into the forest of life and they came back with things, like that's what you admire them for doing, right?
Yeah.
They're giving you part of what they did, their process, their psyche.
Yeah.
That's them giving you the gold. And so they're heroes
True
to
that,
you.
dude.
Yeah, yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's not my idea. I didn't come
right,
up
right
with that,
here.
you know.
Joseph
so.
Campbell, right?
Joseph Campbell, Carl Jung.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah.
George Lucas.
George Lucas.
Hell yeah. And he was very with J.R. Tolkien too.
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling as well.
Yeah.
Like any good story.
Yeah.
Any good story. Aside from Seinfeld, which is kind of interesting because it doesn't follow the hero's journey. It actually just stays in stage one of the hero's journey, which is the normality of reality, where all things start. And it just takes you in a microscopic part of chaos and brings you back to order ultimately. I love Larry David. That's like one person I want to have on the Lost Highway so bad.
Dude, you gotta have him, man.
It'll happen.
You gotta have him.
Yeah.
Do you have any exciting guests coming up? You don't have to say.
I'm not really as focused on it right now as I want to be.
Yeah.
And I think about it a lot, and it's like we have like 63 shows between January and June, and I'm trying to write songs for the next Cosmic Country record. So it's like I do the Lost Highway when I can. So I do have a couple good guests though coming up that I'm happy about.
I've got another thing for you.
Yeah, I can't think of them right now, but
So, you said like when
the song's in A, by the way. G. Back to A.
there's a so I'm curious about like this is a specific question, but
Hell yeah.
like what situation like kind of helped you decide to like start performing on your own with a band around you, and instead of like being a hired gun and kind of like a studio musician or like the Don Kelly band?
Good question. It's like playing in other people's bands and just like realizing I would love to do this, you know, and I'd like to do it this way, you know, and then, you know, that this quote, you know, quote this unquote, it's like that's a moving target. But just the notion to do it was probably when I left Roberts and I started touring in other people's bands. Just the reality that you could not be in Nashville and people come to see you was like obtusely strange, because everyone came to see you in Nashville and then they would go home. But now it's the other way around. And I just love that idea. You kind of come into this town and you're subconsciously given the parameters that is of the magician, of the jester, of the person who is able to do things that not everybody else can do. And you're going to bring them to the present moment, transcend the present moment, and hopefully give them something vibrationally that they can use back in their life. I love that. And so I think it was probably a lot of things, really. But it was like mainly like to give a real straight answer, like playing in other people's bands and seeing how they did it and realize how I would like to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then just doing it.
Yeah.
Emailing 100 venues, getting
Yeah.
5 to email me back, and getting my mom's Nissan Rogue with 2 dudes I met on Facebook, and just doing it.
Yeah.
Playing to nobody, losing money,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
doing it.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Do you have anything?
What you got,
wanna
Wim?
ask? I know you have questions over there. Maybe none right now.
Y'all been talking. This is
They probably slipped.
this is humbling.
Good.
It is.
It's awesome.
Right
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
It's great.
I'm
dude.
humbled to talk to anybody.
Like I'm dropping out of school to go full time in music.
Okay.
Just started my band like
Out of college?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, moved here from suburbia and got the band going and stuff. We're looking to tour. Like
Yeah.
What would you say to yourself, like right before you're jumping that
I don't know. I'm trying to think because there's a lot I'd say.
yeah.
Man, I would really say you got to have a vision. It sounds trite, but and there's again, when you hear trite things and you write them off with casual, watch out for that. 'Cause there's a reason why things stick around for thousands of years. Truth is really the only asset of language that has the ability to compound itself over time. Like there's a reason why the truth of the evil that Hitler has lived on, and the Nazi ideal, which wasn't based in the truth, kind of died off. At least it never reached the scale that he hoped it would reach. But the truth of his evil carried on. So truth is the only thing that can survive over time, essentially. And everyone talks about vision. So I would say just literally sit down and be like, well, what is my vision? Because when you sit down with a blank piece of paper and your intention, that is an invisible power, there's a voice that comes to you. And you don't know where that voice is, yet it's always been there. And it's always guided you. And I would say trust that thing. So I would say trust your intuition, have a vision, and then getting into the more not abstract, linear ideals is to like find people that you can tour with that work in the business model that works for you, and then email like every venue you can in like in a way that is like very formal and well stated. And that was something my dad always helped me out with, was like, oh, read Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People,
I
right?
read
Or
that,
David
yeah.
Allen, Getting Things Done, so you can
Yeah.
organize all your rhetoric of ideals
Yeah.
in tasks into something that's manageable.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I would wake up and practice guitar, and then I would spend a couple hours just emailing venues, and it's that kind of thing. And then through these phenomenal acts of benevolent synchronicity and then patience, persistence, positivity through hardship, you'll find yourself, a year into it, and you'll have more knowledge than you did before in different songs. And then when you start playing shows, record every show, even if it's on your iPhone, and listen to it, because how you perceive it and how it is in the room are two completely different things. It's like unreal how different they are. Like it's frightening
Yeah.
how different they are, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But it's something you have the potential luxury to observe and then learn from. I know a lot of people that don't like listening to themselves, and that's okay. I love it.
I like it too, and like I was almost set up my video the other day at Saul's house to try and figure that out, but I was like,
Joe, let me get that hide.
Oh, is that what I am? I'm the nicotine manager now?
No. What about shot tequila?
You gotta get
for us up here?
the high.
You want
that
one
tastes
too?
like Sunny D.
Yeah.
do what?
There's the one
Four?
that's like that orange one.
Yeah.
It tastes like Sunny D.
Oh yeah, it's total
That one. Yeah,
garbage. It's dopaminergic.
That one's great. That's
Hack.
Dopaminergic.
Sour apple ice.
Hacking.
Oh, I
Yeah.
haven't tried that one.
Hacking.
Yeah, like look at it. It's fun. It like
Yeah.
looks cool. It
You
tastes.
gotta get into it
Yeah.
after Daniel. Come back with some tequila.
Word, man.
Like there's this level of
Tequila
like,
chunks?
I'm down. Yeah,
You want a
absolutely.
skill shot?
yeah, that'd be
You said no, I
awesome.
was gonna get you one anyway.
You mind if I?
Of course.
There's this level of also like when you're being mindful, you can sort of like relax this, like you can relax this and like allow yourself to sort of like slowly just sort of like sink in your chair
Yeah,
kind of thing.
because you have an objective thing now to kind of explain the abstract experience that you had.
You know?
You have a recording.
Yeah, and you have a recording and like
You know.
and like the video, yeah, and you can actually. What's your experience in listening to your videos versus how it felt on stage? Like, is it like, because you said it was a lot different.
Yeah.
So, what's the main piece that you see that's? I don't want it to be negative, but like, is it a?
Oh, sometimes it is.
Yeah, but sometimes it needs to be, right.
Yeah. Sometimes you didn't sound as good as you thought.
Right.
Oftentimes, it's different. So my youngest sister has autism. It's classic autism. She's pretty high functioning. And one thing that her therapists early on in life told me was that people with autism are different, not better or worse. And it truly is that. Like they have assets of intelligence in their psyche, like particularly with photographic memories that people who aren't as veered on the autistic spectrum as she is would die to have. And so that's a rather feminine approach, right? Different, not better.
It's
Different,
beautiful.
And so oftentimes it's just objectively, the way that it sounds is always different than the way it feels to produce the sound. So if you can just observe the difference and take for it the shadow and the light that it brings you, that's what I try to do as a practice.
The shadow and the light that it brings you.
Yeah, man. Just see how did that, okay, so we have like this song like in D, just like a new tattoo, how to have you. And when I'm here, I can sing it all right. But when I'm on stage, that note's too low for me. And I learned that last night, and I'm like, tonight, walking down the street from Sushi, I'm gonna be like, it was like, just like a new tattoo, just like a new tattoo, as opposed to just like a new tattoo, because I can come on the top of that phrase at a higher note, which is easier to hear and vocalize. It's like those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and singing is breath, right?
Yeah. Who said that? Jewel?
I don't know. I think
Is this a good way to wrap it?
yeah.
With tequila
yeah,
shots?
This is perfect. This is perfect.
It's actually
Yeah.
10 degrees hotter up here.
It sure is, yeah.
It definitely is. It is
Red line.
there's like periods of me sweating and then not sweating.
Yeah, I hate sweating when I'm not exercising or playing music. There's like my two modes of sweating.
Music is a different kind of sweat. Like I'll get sweaty.
It's
playing
everywhere. It's in
music,
your
and
balls.
yeah,
It's in your ears. My eyes. Fucking
my eye, yeah, it gets in my
Yeah.
eyebrows.
All right.
Cheers.
Boys, here's to Cosmic Country, home team,
Yeah.
and us getting fucked by Wide Tour Panic in the 2022 Jam Band March Madness.
Fair.
Oh, but gotta love the home team.
Yeah, cheers.
Nostrovia.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Toe.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Man.
Appreciate you, Trippy.
Yeah, I got killer. Cool,
Awesome.
Right on.
Be a fun show.
Yeah, man. Anything else you want to hit on? Or are you good?
That's it, dog.
It's a pleasure, Drew.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
I'm honored.
Likewise.
Honored.
Likewise. Anytime.
Honored, man.
Likewise honored.